everybody, to Bedbug TV. I'm your host, Jeff White. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk to you guys on how to inspect a couch for bedbugs. Obviously, a lot of people are starting to hear about bedbugs and are traveling and saying, you know, what if I brought bedbugs home with me? And they say, I want to inspect my house for bedbugs. And one of the common areas that you may want to inspect is a couch. A couch is an area that is very commonly infested with bedbugs. People sleep in their bed, they're being bit by something, and they say, oh my god, I'm going to go sleep on the couch because something's in my bed biting me, and then the couch becomes infested. And so couches are very common areas of infestation. And I want to show you some common areas that you can look at on this couch that you may find bedbugs, if in fact they are there. Now, the one thing I want to mention before we even get into this episode is that visual inspections tend to be relatively unreliable for detecting bedbugs. Just because you don't find bedbugs when you do a visual inspection, it doesn't necessarily mean you don't have them. Now, obviously, that can lead you down the right path of not having bedbugs, but you don't want to say, okay, I didn't find bedbugs on the couch, there's no chance they're in my home. These bugs are very small and they hide very well. So it is a good way to start, but if you think you have bedbugs in your home and you have a really good reason to believe they may be there, you may want to consider contacting a knowledgeable professional to come out and do an inspection. Alrighty, so let's get started. What I want to do is show you some good areas you may want to look in this couch. Alright, now, the first thing you're going to look at on this couch is the actual cushion itself. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually flip this cushion up, and the area that you're commonly going to find bugs, if they are in fact on this cushion, is right along this zipper seam here. Now, the one thing I will say is that cushions are not commonly infested with bedbugs. This is an area that people are sitting on, getting up and down, it's constantly disturbed, and it's not an area you will commonly find them. But if you are going to find them on this cushion, you are typically going to find them in this zipper seam where the fabric meets the actual zipper itself. And that is a very common area you will see them sitting. Now, obviously, they can also sit up here around this little ribbing and whatnot, and you want to inspect that area all the way around this cushion. But again, the first area you typically want to look is this zipper seam, and then once you're done inspecting this entire cushion, you want to set it aside and focus on the framework of the couch itself. So now, the common area, or probably one of the most common areas that we find bugs on the framework of the couch, is actually where this ribbing right here on the arm of the couch meets the framework of the couch itself. You can see that this creates a very, very ideal gap or crack for the bugs to get in. And this is really one of the most common areas we find them. So you definitely want to take a look all the way around this and see if you can find any activity there. Also, if you flip this couch up real quick, another very common area is where the actual framework meets this piece of ribbing. Now, obviously, this is not on all couches, but if your couch does have this, you can see it creates a very, very good crack for the bugs to get in. Another very common area of infestation. And so, say you inspected those three areas, the cushion, that spot up there by the arm, and then down here where the actual skirt starts. We're going to actually go ahead and flip this couch back, and we're going to take a look at the bottom, and then eventually the skirt of this couch. Now you can see here that there is a dust cloth on the bottom of this couch. This is a very difficult area to inspect. You obviously could remove this dust cloth if you wanted to, but again, a very difficult area to inspect. Where you will more commonly find the bugs is where this dust cloth is actually stapled into the framework of the couch. These staples provide a really nice little edge for the bugs to sit up against. And it's very commonly not bothered by you when you're sitting on the couch. And so they will either typically sit underneath where this dust cloth is, or right along the actual staples themselves. And so you want to inspect all the way around the framework in that area. Another very common area is right here where this skirt meets the actual framework again. Now here we're on the underside of the skirt, and you can see here that there's tons of little gaps and cracks and crevices where this fabric is folded over and stapled and whatever the case may be. And you can see all these staples in here. And so you want to take another real good look at this area and see if you can find any bugs in that area. And also possibly up inside the skirts right here where the fabric is folded over. You've got a real deep gap right in there that the bugs could be in. And then of course around the foot of the couch itself. Another very good area for the bugs to hide. Now you can see how complicated couches can become because there's tons of cracks and crevices for these bugs to hide on or in. Now, let's turn this couch on its side and we will take a look right over here. Again, you have the same exact gap that we had before where the actual skirt meets the framework of the couch, another very good area. But remember, these bugs love seams and edges, and so typically they will line up right along where this seam is created by the cushion itself and the framework. Really, really good spot. So there's a good spot up here where the ribbing is again is a good spot, and then all on the underside of this arm, another really good spot for these bugs to hide. This is probably, on top of this front of the arm where I showed you that ribbing before, this is probably the second most common area you will find bugs on a couch, is right on the underside of the arm. Now, we'll go ahead and check one more area on this couch, and we're going to talk about the actual back of the couch. Now here we have the back, the same skirt area down here, and then here you have the ribbing going up the entire back of the couch and all the way around. They will also sit right along this ribbing, so you want to take a real good look at that and make sure there are no bugs present, and then you've got some folds in the fabric up in here that they could get in. Again, any seam, edge, fold, gap, crack, crevice, whatever you want to call it, any place these bugs can get up against and hide is where you're typically going to find them. Alrighty, so those are the common areas that you want to look at when you inspect the couch in your home. Remember, gaps, cracks, seams, edges, anything like that, that's where these bugs are going to typically hide. And remember that just because you did a visual inspection, if you didn't find bugs, it doesn't necessarily mean you don't have bugs. So you may want to contact a knowledgeable professional. Alright everybody, if you have any questions, you can email me, jeff.white@bedbugcentral.com. We're also very soon going to get a blog up that you can go and ask questions right on that blog and read other people's questions and answers, and you may be able to find the answers to your questions right on there. Alrighty, so again, you can email me, and I hope to see everybody soon enough.